So the thinning of the squad is a result of the fact that we only got these guys as mercenaries, pretty much, to come help us in Africa. Now that we're no longer in Africa, we no longer need them, so we are releasing them. And he says, at least, that the players knew that. So with that being the case, is that fair? And if indeed he made the players aware, do the players have any reason to feel aggrieved that their contracts, which were gonna end if they don't qualify for the Champions League, did indeed end because they didn't qualify for the Champions League?
It's a tough one. Obviously, they didn't stick to them. We had goals and targets, and you didn't stick to them. This is what happens with. If the same was said to a coach, which take us there, and if you don't, we fire you. And unfortunately, because it's just a whole other group of players, it is unfair. But at the same time, they didn't stick to their targets. Yes, as a player, from a player's perspective, it's wrong. You understand? But you knew.
It feels wrong.
It feels wrong.
Yeah, it feels wrong.
You knew.
I still think it's wrong, even if they knew, because if you look at Amazulu, it's going to be their first time competing in Africa. These guys, many of them are not in their prime years. Many of them have been shipped off by their former teams, and they're not the best of the best. And you're going to compete against the best of the best with these players. It was mission impossible, basically. And so these guys are going to be there because there's a lifeline. But also, you're using me in the league.
But it makes it sound as if they agreed, which
they signed up because you are a professional, right?
Yeah,
and here's you're looking for a job, Chuck, and this is the job that's available. There aren't many, in terms of football, there aren't many jobs available. There are only 16 teams in the league, and so many positions to go around. So if you are in a position where you are looking for a position in a club, and here comes this club in the PSL, and it's like, we offer you a contract. These are the terms.
They say they will work well,
and they negotiate. And it's like it's on your resume. It's like, oh yeah, no, put me into the heat. Like, work well, I'm that guy.
Deadlines.
And then the pressure comes, and they don't work well.
No, here's my gripe, Ntwana, because if we're playing the best of the best, né? And even if a player like Vuyo Memela, who scored the goals that he scored, even then you can't impress. It was like Iskatis Pelile. I've given you, even outside Africa, I've given you numbers that are comparable to players who are in big clubs. Even that's not a good enough audition for you. I think it's unfair on that basis. Number one, it was mission impossible. Yes, I accepted it, but give the other guys a year back of their lives. Galaxy, but to your contract, because the terms.
Hence, they released them, Chuck, for them to go find employment somewhere else.
But now I'm 34. And I could have.
You're always going to be 34. The Memela thing, can I just say, the Memela thing doesn't make sense to me because he played well. Same thing when he was released by Pirates. It didn't make sense for me because he was a good player at Pirates. And when he went to Amazulu, he was one of the biggest reasons why they qualified for the Champions League. And still, even after they didn't have the season as they did like the previous season, this season, probably still their best player, And like Mo says, I think that one is just a financial decision. That's all that happened with Memela. It's a financial decision, and you can hide behind the fact that, he's older, because they are buying younger players now, and it's a strange way to build a team that we're just going to get players for this season, see how it goes, and if it doesn't go the way we plan, part ways with them. So now it seems as if they want to build something for the future with younger players who they're going to sign long term.
But Jay, generally with one of the problems that main issues that players really get released in the PSL from like your Shabangus to Abu Chabupule is maybe primarily because of outside football behavior, maybe they're not mentioning that. I don't know a lifestyle yaga Memela.
We don't. That's true.
But sometimes they release a player, you're like, why? In the mid-season, but obviously some things are closed. But lifestyle, maybe?
With that, right, and I bring up Dumsani Zuma was released by Chiefs, and they stated on Twitter that they tried to get his life on track, and they even had him admitting the fact that they had him go to rehab, and he couldn't sort himself out. In that situation, right, I think that's fair for the club to say we invested in the player, but there's no return on investment. But do you think it's right for them to reveal that to the general public that, this player's got like
Maybe this
demons
is
that he's fighting.
Maybe this is what Amazulu is. That's why they are closing it. Maybe it could be. I'm assuming, Guti. I mean, you can't release so much.
Might be a reason, yeah.
You know, I mean, if you get released from one club to the other in a space of 3 seasons,
there's a problem.
there could be an issue. You know, as much as Pela, I was surprised at why he got released at Pirates.
Yeah, it's true.
You know,
because as much as he was injured, when he did come back, he was quality. Yeah.
Because if the play is there to suggest give the guy an extension, but then more than one club doesn't extend, and we're not costing Aspersions on because as we say, we don't know. But you start to wonder, you know, maybe there actually is something that we don't know, and maybe
over and above
that's why
the trends that's been happening over the years. You know, Uguti, this guy's good, great, but
all right. Moving away from Amazulu and to Pirates and Chiefs, and Pirates recently parted ways with Hlatshwayo, who when he arrived was made captain pretty much, and we know there was just this like Hlatshwayo needs to end up at Pirates for so many years. Like Pirates coveted him, Pirates fans coveted him as well, and then it just didn't work out. What do you make of that parting of ways between those two sides?
Something's just I think we could go back to the Hazard situation. We understand, we know your potential, we know how great of a player you are. And Hlatshwayo at the Vets, he was great. And maybe most people say it's because of Ubuhle, his partner. And it just didn't work out. I don't know, man. I don't know what to make of that, but some things just don't work out, dog.
No, they don't. My few thoughts on that. I think at Vets there was like a strong partner that he was with, and at Pirates, like the people he was playing next to are not guys who are going to cover him. But as well, Kevin Hunt knows how to coach defense. You know, he knows how to put you in a position where he eliminates the mistakes that you have and you shine in his defensive system. Whereas at Pirates, he was there as the savior of the defense, and I wasn't a great big fan of the defensive side of his game while he was at Vets, because I always felt like he's too aggressive. And just at Pirates, just positionally.
Aggressive how?
In terms of in the tackle.
Not necessarily.
Yeah. Me and you have had the debate about Ramos when I told you that I don't rate Ramos as a defender, you know, and probably because of like the many records just say to me, your reading and the timing is just not what it's supposed to be as a defender, you know. And with Hlatshwayo, I always felt that like he's too rash on the pitch. It's something similar, Chomeni, we spoke about, like the highlights that I've seen, like he's very aggressive in the tackle. And that's something he needs to work on. And he's young though. So if you have Hlatshwayo though, like at over 30 and he's still that guy, it was not going to work. Particularly because Pirates have been looking for something stable in defense for a long time. So, yeah, man, sometimes things just don't work.
It was hella disappointing. He was way below par. Like, there is a...
Pagani.
Yeah, no, there's you give players time, but it just never worked out. In fact, it became worse over time, to a point where we're going into games with Uchele, no Nonda. And you're like, but this guy was supposed to be the number one choice. Yeah, the number one choice. Allowing Uchele to happily retire. But the mistakes, there were glaring mistakes, big mistakes in big games. And I think confidence-wise, he never quite recovered. I mean, he was given, supposedly, the tools. And one of those tools was also maybe pressure. But to lead us, and you're not really 100% there. But the Hlatshwayo was a Vets, not a Pirates, two different players for me. And I was not happy with that in terms of his stint. I am happy. It might be negative for him to hear this, but I'm happy he's parted ways. Maybe he can restart his career somewhere else, but I was not happy.
Who was your best defender?
What do you mean? At Pirates, it wasn't that.
This season.
Olisenda. Yeah, Olisenda.
It is Nda. He's the one who keeps playing. They keep chopping and changing his partners.
Also, when you look at Africa
over there, Pirates.
Any team, any style of play, he was there. Whether they're playing long balls, whether they're playing quick football, and that was very solid there. So I was happy with Olisenda.
Where do you think Hlatshwayo ends up, or where would you like to see him end up, perhaps? At this stage of his career,
whichever team Kevin's Super Sport,
wherever Kevin Hunt ends up. What if Kevin Hunt ends up at Pirates? Yes.
And then the other long-serving servant, which is Bernard Parker, is not getting his contract renewed. What do you make of that? His time at Chiefs, was it successful, or do you think he could have gotten more?
Bernard Parker was part of the 2010 World Cup. I mean, really, it was time for him to go, man.
It's been a long time.
Moreover, even if he still wants to go to another team and play, no.
Are you saying you should retire?
Somewhere, man. His friend Shaba, 2 days ago, Shaba was celebrating the 2010 World Cup.
Yeah.
You know, go. I mean,
actually,